what is it like dealing with brands and agencies? Do you think they have a good idea of what you're trying to do or what viewers or users want to see?
Sure. I think when I first started in 2015, my job was to go into agencies and sell them memes. And they were like, what? Mimi? And my job was to basically, I had this idea of educating the new way of communicating to millennials through memes, right? And that evolved to videos, short form videos, slightly longer form videos. And I would say many of them didn't get it. Many of them didn't want to talk to me in the first place. But over time, I think, it didn't matter if they rejected me. I think being the salesman that I am, my job was basically to let them know that I existed, because I knew that if they are going to stay in Singapore for the next 2-3 years, their colleagues, children, cousins, everybody's going to be watching our content. And sure enough, they would come back like, really? You guys watch them? Like, really? And so I started on this whole like roadshow thing when I would go to all the agencies and pitch memes, videos, whatever. And at the start, only these brands or agencies that were sort of or had a campaign that was more guerrilla, that was more like, oh, we need this to go viral, they would use us. But we became more mainstream and a big part of their media mix on a regular basis for every campaign when we proved that we were not a one-trick pony, not a one-hit wonder, and we had a consistent lineup of content that was effective, right? And so that began sort of longer-term partnerships where we would start planning for a brand launch, brand whatever touch point on social and digital 6 to 8 months ahead, so that we had enough ample time to prep for that. And so we saw this whole shift. Initially it was like lukewarm, then I say the masses came on. Now I see a lot of the old traditional agencies and brands who were so resistant to digital, stuck with TV and print for many, many years, starting to sort of say, hey, I want in too. And we call those sort of the later adopters, I would suppose.
Later adopters, okay. So Sylvia, do you think these brands and agencies really understand the millennial audience?
I mean, you would see the situation, right? Like last time they hate us so much, and now they're like dying to work with us.
Oh, right.
And the problem I see is that because there is such an interest in online marketing, there are people who aren't doing it the right way. And when people don't do it the right way, a company might see it as not a feasible method of marketing, and then everyone suffers.
Right, okay. And Byron, do you get good feedback from brands and agencies? I mean, what do they think about midget boxing, for example?
No, they're total pains in the asses constantly. But no, I think it really depends on the brand and the agency. It can range from a really smooth, wonderful... So what we mainly do in terms of advertising is branded content, whether it's written content or video. We also do display ads. We love to do a combination of all of those because we think that is the most effective way to reach our audience. We have campaigns that are huge, that run extremely smoothly because the brands and agencies know exactly what they want. And I think a big factor is whether they want to target our audience and whether the product and the marketing campaign is right for our audience, because otherwise it's like a square peg into a round hole. Mm-hmm. And we have a very unique audience. It's very high income, based in the cities that we're covering, English speaking. So in a lot of markets, it's not a mass audience. So for example, we've worked with mass brands like Pepsi in the Philippines, where they were looking to target a mass Philippine audience, and it wasn't right for us. Actually, that campaign ended up being fine. But yeah, I think it's not always that all the elements come together and it works totally smoothly. And right. Sometimes you have the smallest campaign where the brands or the agencies are the biggest pain in the ass. And so that's what we just can't have, no.